Hello students, welcome to Infinity IAS Delhi. Today we will look at the fifth lecture in Science and Technology series. Today we will look at two important topics from IT and engineering related field. So we will start with cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency has been there in news since a long time and it has still been in news because of a recent fall in the value of cryptocurrency. Apart from that, there is also efforts from the government of India to regulate cryptocurrency. In light of this importance in current affairs, we will look at what is a cryptocurrency. A cryptocurrency is a digital asset designed to work as a medium of exchange wherein individual coin ownership records are stored in a ledger existing in the form of a computerized database. So here what are the key points? It is a digital asset, as in it is a currency, but instead of having a physical form, it has a digital form, that is, it is a digital asset. So this is one point. And next thing, it is designed to work as a medium of exchange. The same way a currency works. For example, we give money, we get some items. So that is an exchange. The same way cryptocurrency also works as an exchange, medium of exchange. Next, the coin ownership records are stored in a ledger existing in the form of a computerized database. We have already seen blockchain technology. We have learned that blockchain technology is also a ledger technology, particularly a digital ledger technology. So that is where blockchain technology comes in. So cryptocurrency is based on this blockchain technology. So next we will see a few features of cryptocurrency. So when do we call a currency cryptocurrency? So the first point is absence of any centralized authority and is maintained through distributed networks. So for example, we have Indian rupee. It is controlled by RBI. If we have US dollar, it is controlled by US Federal Bank. So these are centralized authorities. Whereas cryptocurrency, for example, Bitcoin, doesn't have any centralized authority. It is maintained through distributed networks. Distributed networks such as blockchain technology. That is, the peers or the people who hold currency will also have the record of transactions in cryptocurrency. Next feature is that the system decides whether new units can be created, and in case it does, decides the origin and the ownership terms. We have heard of the term mining of cryptocurrency or Bitcoin. So this mining is how this cryptocurrency is created. So mining of cryptocurrency or Bitcoin is basically the computers perform complex mathematical operations to create new Bitcoins. So the computer system decides how and when a cryptocurrency can be created, and the ownership, who mines the Bitcoin will get the Bitcoin. He or she will be the owner of the Bitcoin. So the computer decides the origin and ownership of the cryptocurrency. Next comes the system maintains records of cryptocurrency units and who owns them. This is very important feature. We have already learnt that the records of cryptocurrency will be maintained through blockchain technology. So for example, there are three people holding Bitcoin. So if this person transfers Bitcoin to this person, the transaction will be recorded with him as well as him. So a distributed ledger technology, how the transaction will be stored. So seeing the features of cryptocurrency, we will see what are the concerns of this cryptocurrency. Why is the government of India trying to regulate cryptocurrency? So even though cryptocurrency is a upcoming technology and is being widely used all over the world, there are certain challenges with cryptocurrency usage. First thing is, it doesn't have a sovereign guarantee. For example, Indian rupee. The Indian rupee is backed by RBI. So, which in turn is backed by Government of India. So there is a guarantee behind that rupee, Indian rupee. Whereas when it comes to Bitcoin, there is no such guarantee. The price might fall like we have seen already, or it might not even be a legal tender. Someone might not accept your Bitcoin, or suddenly it might lose all its value. So there is no sovereign guarantee. Sovereign as in particularly the country's government. For example, US dollar has a sovereign guarantee of the US Federal Bank, whereas Bitcoin or cryptocurrency doesn't have such sovereign guarantee behind it. Next comes market volatility. So this is also in news, where recently we have seen a Bitcoin crash. People who have invested in it would have lost a lot of money. So the market is highly volatile. But if we see sovereign currency such as Indian rupee, even though it fluctuates, it doesn't fluctuate too much, because the RBI will come into force and will control the value of the currency. Whereas when it comes to cryptocurrencies, there is no such centralized authority, so the volatility is very high. Next comes risk in security. So cryptocurrency, if the person holding the cryptocurrency is not aware of the cyber security threats, he might lose all his value, all his money. So there is high risk of security. So that is one concern with cryptocurrency. Next one is money laundering. So as this cryptocurrency is not regulated by any central authority, or the transactions are not stored with a central authority or a government, this cryptocurrency might be used by nefarious actors for money laundering, such as terrorists, extremists, or separatists. So that is one concern with cryptocurrency. Next comes malware threats. So malware is any software that is intended for a malified effect. So if it's, for example, a virus. For example, if a person can create a virus, computer virus, to steal all the cryptocurrency that you have, that means the person holding the cryptocurrency will lose all his money. So malware, cyber security is still low in India as well as world, and this is an important concern with cryptocurrency. Next comes power consumption. So we have seen that how cryptocurrency is created, that is by mining. So mining means the computer performs complex mathematical operations, and it is not just one computer. Many computers have to perform many operations, mathematical operations, to create one Bitcoin. So when all these computers are running, it will take a lot of power. So the power consumption to create one Bitcoin is very high. Not only Bitcoin, any cryptocurrency will have to be mined using computers. So this is an environmental concern with cryptocurrency. Now that we have seen some of the concerns with cryptocurrency, we will see how the government of India tried to regulate cryptocurrency. Initially in 2018, the RBI issued a circular preventing all banks from dealing in cryptocurrencies. So the government of India and RBI has seen that there are many challenges with cryptocurrency and tried banning the use of cryptocurrency as such in India. But the Supreme Court has ruled this unconstitutional. So why has the Supreme Court ruled this unconstitutional? So here the Supreme Court has cited doctrine of proportionality. So what is doctrine of proportionality? Here, the Supreme Court has said that though there are concerns regarding cryptocurrency, the action, that is banning cryptocurrencies as such, is disproportionate to the threat it poses. So instead, SC has said that it should try to regulate rather than a blanket ban on cryptocurrencies. So after this, the government of India tried to bring a bill, the Cryptocurrency and Regulation of Official Digital Currency Bill. So in this bill, government tried to regulate the use of cryptocurrency and also planned on introducing a digital currency by the RBI, as in by the government of India, rather already seen that there are steps being taken by RBI to introduce a central bank digital currency, CBDC, by amending the RBI Act. So instead of having a decentralized cryptocurrency, RBI is trying to bring an alternative, considering that cryptocurrency has also some advantages. So it will be a digital currency instead of the fiat currency or the physical money that we have to replace this cryptocurrency. Next step taken by the government of India is that in the recent budget 2022, 30% tax on income from digital virtual assets has been imposed. So here the digital virtual assets also includes cryptocurrency. So digital virtual assets means it can be cryptocurrency, NFTs, etc. So here, for example, if a person makes some profit on transacting via cryptocurrency, he has to pay 30% tax on the profit that he makes. So this is the way in which government of India tried to regulate cryptocurrency. So we will go on to the next topic, artificial intelligence. This has also been there in news for a very long time, and recently many developments have been taking place at a very fast pace due to the coming of technologies such as 5G technology, 3D printing, and robotics. So these are some technologies that are aiding the growth of artificial technology, at the same time being benefited by artificial technology. So keeping in mind these technologies that are recently in news, we need to understand what is artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence, or AI, is a way of making a computer or a computer controlled robot or software perform human-like tasks, which include performing cognitive tasks like thinking, perceiving, learning, problem solving, and decision making. So here we'll see the keywords here. So AI can be a computer controlled robot, or a software. So we have already seen that robotics has an application with artificial intelligence. So it can either be a robot or even a simple computer that can be called artificial intelligence. So here these things have to perform human-like tasks. So what are the human-like tasks that a machine, a computer, or a robot has to perform to call it artificial intelligence? It has to perform cognitive tasks. Basically, cognitive tasks means, cognition means anything related to intelligence, intelligent tasks, not mechanical tasks, but intelligent tasks, by which we have to use our brain. We have to use thinking to perform those tasks. It is called a cognitive task. So tasks like thinking, perceiving, learning, problem solving, and decision making. Thinking, as in if we give a data to a computer, it has to process it. It has to come to certain conclusions about that data or analyze the data. That forms thinking. Then perceiving. For example, if we give an image or a sound, computer has to perceive it, as in take it and make it into small pieces so that it can understand the data that we have given. Then learning. Learning means if we have given some data to the computer, it has to learn something from the data, some conclusions from the data. It has to analyze, it has to see it in various aspects and learn something from the data. Next comes problem solving and decision making. Problem solving, it shouldn't be based on something we have already given. For example, problem solving, we should not give some algorithm or some principle or some formula to the computer. It should itself do the problem solving aspect. So problem solving and decision making. So after thinking, or the computer should be able to make the final decisions by itself. So what should be done? So that aspect is called decision making. So all these things should be done by the computer or the robot, to call it artificial intelligence. So there are some components or some terms we use when we are reading about artificial intelligence. It is machine learning and deep learning or deep neural networks. So machine learning or deep learning are technical concepts where after giving some data, the computer tries to learn something new and will come up with the final results. So machine learning can be of various subtypes such as supervised learning, unsupervised learning, semi-supervised learning, etc. So what is supervised, unsupervised and semi-supervised? These are again technical concepts. For example, we have taken an AI or a computer, we have given it some data, and then it has analyzed on its own the hundreds of samples and has come to a conclusion that this is how the task should be done. So here we are supervising, as in giving some data, and based on that data, the next time when we give another input, the computer will perform the action. Whereas unsupervised, here we do not give any data, the artificial intelligence will just take the input from us and then come to a conclusion that certain task has to be performed. This is unsupervised. Then semi-supervised. Here we will give some data, the computer will analyze, but at the same time we will give some other unprocessed data also to the computer, so that the computer will have a mix of both processed as well as unprocessed data. So it is semi-supervised, and then come to a conclusion on what task it should be performing or what decision it has to take. That is semi-supervised. So there are other types of machine learning as well, but they are too technical. So next is deep learning or deep neural networks. So what is deep neural network? We know that our human brain is made up of millions of neurons, and they are all interconnected, and that is how our brain works. So in deep neural networking, we try to simulate the same thing that our brain has by making semiconductors or chips that will be connected just like we have in a human brain, so that it will work similar to a human brain. So in prelims examination, there can be questions such as deep neural networking recently in news is related to what? The answer is artificial intelligence. So here, one more important topic that we need to know or understand is big data. We will learn about big data in the further series, but today we need to understand that big data aids in machine learning as well as deep learning. So after seeing the components of artificial intelligence, we will go into what are the efforts made by India to improve the state of artificial intelligence research in India. So there was a Niti Aayog's National Strategy for Artificial Intelligence in 2018 to promote or encourage research in artificial intelligence. Also, in this national strategy for artificial intelligence, there have been 5 core areas given by the government of India in which the application of AI is supposed to be encouraged. That is agriculture, education, health, smart cities or infrastructure, and transport. So we will see some examples where AI can be used in these 5 core areas. So for example, agriculture. We can include AI by using, we have already learned about topics like Internet of Things, etc. So we can include AI in this Internet of Things so that the computer or the software can decide what crop to be grown, or can also suggest the farmer on how to grow, or how much water to give, or how much fertilizer to apply. So such things can be done by AI by taking data from the Internet of Things. Next is education. So we have seen that education is becoming more and more digital now. So artificial intelligence can learn from the students' preferences and priorities and can suggest courses that the student might want to take up. The artificial intelligence computer will learn from the student about what his priorities are or what his preferences are regarding different subjects, and then will suggest him what to study or what to learn. So that is one place where AI can be used. It will also improve the quality of the education system. Next is health. Artificial intelligence can be used to monitor not only personal health parameters but also community health parameters. For example, if the AI finds the data that there is increasing demand for chloroquine, a drug used for malaria in the area, in a certain area. So the AI will understand that there is a malaria outbreak that is going to happen in the area. So the AI can suggest or warn the health authorities regarding an impending malaria outbreak. So AI can study the data taken from the pharmacies or the hospitals itself and can warn the authorities of the upcoming diseases. So next is smart cities or infrastructure. AI can be widely used in smart cities for fields like traffic control, even pollution control, or even expanding the cities. For example, AI can study the data in the transport system or the public transport system and can aid the authorities on how to expand the city for a planned urbanization. So AI can be widely used in the smart cities project, that is the flagship project of the government of India. Next comes transport. Logistics. Logistics is a very important thing in ease of doing business. If AI can be used on how to improve the logistics efficiency, for example, we have put the data of various traffics, road, rail, air, and water, and we put the data into the software. The artificial intelligence can analyze it and give us an efficient way on how to transport certain items from point A to B. For example, AI will analyze that A to point X will be the most efficient via water transport, then X to Y point via air transport, and then here road transport is the most efficient. So AI will analyze the data regarding the traffics on various routes between A to B and will suggest a proper way on how to transport items from point A to B. So this will improve our logistics efficiency. Next area where India has encouraged artificial intelligence is the PM STIAC identified 9 national science and technology missions. So One of the missions in this is National Mission on Artificial Intelligence. So all these points can be used in our mains answers if there is a question asked on artificial intelligence. Next comes the challenges regarding artificial intelligence. So here the first thing is lack of explainability. We have already seen that artificial intelligence takes up data, analyzes it on its own, and comes up with conclusions. So here, this is the AI. We will give some data and it will come to some conclusion. But this, what does the AI do with this data is not known. The thought box is dark. Sometimes these conclusions might be right, sometimes these might be wrong. So we do not know what is the process that the AI undertakes to come to these conclusions. So that is what lack of explainability means. Next is lack of contextual awareness and inability to learn. So all the data has some context to it. We have given data such as birth rates and death rates to artificial intelligence and asked the artificial intelligence to come up with proper health policy or health policy related suggestions. So what it will do, the AI will simply take the data and give us some conclusions, but it doesn't have the contextual awareness. That is, for example, we have given data regarding birth rates and death rates to AI, but it doesn't know the context. The death rates have increased due to COVID-19 in the last 2 years, but the artificial intelligence doesn't know that context. So it will come to some conclusion regarding how to improve our health status, but it will not be right because it doesn't have the contextual awareness. So that is one challenge with artificial intelligence. Next one is lack of standardization. So for example, an AI which has learned on how to drive on American roads cannot be used in India because the situations are different. Here we have differences in the US transport system and India. For example, if the AI has learned that it can take certain lane changes or it can go from, the car can go from one lane to another just by giving an indicator in US, it will be right in US only, because in India that lane discipline is not widely followed. So it is not standard. The learnings of artificial intelligence are not standard and cannot be applied to all the countries. So that becomes a very big challenge for scaling artificial intelligence. Next is job losses. So we have already seen that unemployment is increasing and rising artificial intelligence can further lead to job losses. Many jobs which are being done by human beings right now can be performed by artificial intelligence or computers in the future. This will lead to increased unemployment. Next is lack of competency and need for reskilling and upskilling workers. Like we have already seen, artificial intelligence is an upcoming technology and is rapidly developing. So the workers we have now, for example, a software engineer who is working in a company will not have the competency to learn or to understand artificial intelligence now. So he has to either reskill himself or upskill himself at a very rapid rate to catch up with the rapid advancements in artificial intelligence. That is another challenge in AI. Next is, there are many ethical issues with artificial intelligence. The most famous one is that about automated cars. For example, if an AI driven car is involved in an accident, so who should be the one taking responsibility? Because the car will not be driven by a human being, who should the accident be responsible for? Then there are other ethical issues as well. For example, the bias or the stereotypes of the data that is being input into the AI. For example, we have already seen that data will be fed to the AI computer, and then it will come to conclusions and will perform a task. So if this data is biased or having stereotypes, the conclusions or the tasks that are performed are also biased. For example, if there is technology such as facial recognition technology, or for technology to catch criminals, if that kind of technology is using AI, it can have biases. For example, racial bias or even class or even caste bias, as we can see in India. So these are some of the ethical issues involving AI. So even though there are many challenges with AI, we need to understand that AI is rapidly taking over, and Government of India has to work on how to implement it or how to encourage research and development in it. So this is how we can conclude an answer in mains using some fodder points from the India's efforts. Thank you, students.